What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Smoke Factory. Week 4 of college football, another crazy week as usual. Not too many upsets, but some pretty big games. One upset in particular, though, Michigan. We'll get to that a little bit later on, but these are our top takeaways from week 4. Good week of college football. I'm going to start with an honorable mention. Utah survived Oklahoma State. Uh, their running back, Micah Bernard, looked really good, really strong. They can run the ball. And when they get Cam Rising back, that's going to be really dangerous. I don't really know what to make of this Big 10 or Big 12 still. You had, who was it? Kansas State get embarrassed by BYU. I was just like, what the heck? I was ready to pack it in, go to sleep on the college football day. And then I see BYU take like a 90-plus yard kickoff back.
Yeah.
Kansas State, you guys are frauds. You got exposed. That was really embarrassing from Kansas State. But
You lost your opportunity.
yeah, Oklahoma State, the team Kansas State has to play this week, I was surprised they didn't look as strong against Utah, even though they only lost by 3. They didn't look as strong as I thought they were. They need to run Ollie Gordon more. He's the top back in college football. He needs more touches because, like I said in the preseason, your quarterback, what is it, Alan Bernard? He's not, or Alan Bowman.
He's not the guy.
Yeah, he's not the guy. He made some bad throws in that game. He threw a pick that just had me like, what the heck? Why would you throw that? He's not the guy.
But with that, Oklahoma State, we had said we both picked Utah to win that game.
Yeah.
With Cam Rising playing. We both said that if Cam Rising did not play, we expected Oklahoma State to win that game.
Yeah.
And for Oklahoma State to come out and not lean into the power of your offense, the running game.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wondering if they felt like they may have been comfortable because Cam Rising isn't playing. They're like, oh, you know what? We can test out our passing game, see if we can get it on track.
This was not the game
to do that.
Yeah,
no,
that's not the game at all.
No. So coaching might have to take a big hit in why the outcome was the way it was.
Yeah. So I think honestly, when Utah gets Cam Rising back, I think they might have the Big 12 on locks. So I'm just looking for that secondary team, the second best team in the Big 12. And it's hard because it's like everybody's beating up on each other. It might be BYU. I don't know. I don't know if that was a fluke game, but it might be BYU. Arizona, they have one loss. They got beat bad by Kansas State. So I don't really know what to make of them. Is it Colorado? I don't think so.
No, it's not.
It could be. I mean, they're sitting there with one loss, and that loss wasn't in the conference. So we'll have to wait and see. But the Big 12 is going to be good. I think it'll be a good fight for second place. I think Utah kind of has this conference on light locks, similar to how Miami might have the ACC on locks.
Yeah, it's one. That conference is the epitome of what this college season has been. Watch and find out.
Yeah,
that's it.
So let's go ahead and get to our top 5. Number 5, the group of 5 spot is wide open or opens back up. Northern Illinois might have had it on locks, but then they just lost to who was it? Buffalo. A really embarrassing loss in the MAC. You guys
at home.
Yeah. All you had to do was run the schedule, and you guys were in. I mean, you beat Notre Dame. You had your marquee win. Run that schedule, and you get into the playoffs. You just open the group of 5 spot back up. So some teams to watch out for. You've got UNLV.
Asterisks.
Yeah. If you didn't see my video earlier on TikTok, make sure you guys go check it out because UNLV's quarterback quite literally just quit on his team over an NIL issue. Apparently, he was guaranteed $100K. They didn't get him his guaranteed $100K, and he just bounced. My whole thing is, bro, why would you quit on the team because of that? You are in a position to make the playoffs.
Yes.
You win the Mountain West, you could very well get in. You just quit on your team. My whole thing is, bro, just finish the season out and then make it 30 for 30 on it or something, bro. Like,
but honestly, that points toward his character.
Yeah.
You know, absolutely. He was all about self and all about money. He was not about the team.
Yeah.
So that told me everything that I needed to know. I look at it like, man, why expose yourself like that? Because now this is what people are going to think of you. Where's your next opportunity going to come? I don't see anybody else wanting to be bothered with you because it's not like UNLV was winning through the strength of his quarterback skills per se through his arm.
Some other teams to look out for right now. Boise State is the highest ranked group of 5 team. They've got Ashton Genty at running back. We know how dangerous he is.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah, this is the team that I'd probably say I want to see get that group of five spot because I think they could pose like the biggest challenge
Hmm.
to the team whoever they have to play in the first round, whoever it may be. But Boise State's a team to look out for. James Madison just put B2A on North Carolina. I mean, they put up 70 points, won the game by 20, and they had 50 plus in the first half. James Madison could be a dangerous team to watch out for.
Yeah, when you look at them scoring 70 plus points on a Power Five team, same Power Five team, and I know you and I had this discussion before, but it's a Power Five team that went into a Big Ten team's home and beat them
That
on their
that
home.
just don't matter.
We had the
I
discussion.
know, but
You think it
still,
doesn't matter? I think it
it's
does.
Minnesota.
It's Minnesota.
Minnesota is bottom barrel.
Okay, but it's still a Power Five team. And then James Madison comes into North Carolina's home and say, "Hey, we can put up points against you." Now, I don't like the fact that they gave up 50, back 50 plus two.
I mean, when you give up 70, though, you got to fight in at least. So I can't blame
Yes.
them as much for the 50.
So who knows, man? They might be the type of team that is the caliber of what used to be the Big 12. Score all the points in the world and play no defense. They might be that type of team that can still hang around and make some noise. Who knows?
Yeah.
I'd say if Boise does not take care of business, I'd love to see James Madison, a part of the deal.
Yeah. And then last team is Liberty, the best team out of the group of five last year. They
Mhm.
went to the Fiesta Bowl, got blasted by Oregon, but they were
Mhm.
there, and they bring back their key quarterback, Caden Salter, who's already off to a pretty good start to the season.
Yeah.
They have a little challenge in App State. I wouldn't even say it's a challenge, really, because App State's been getting beat up by some teams. So
Yeah, they haven't been the App State that we expected to
yeah,
see.
so I expect Liberty to win that, but if they run the schedule, they could have a case. We'll have to see how everything plays out. But this is definitely a part of college football that not a lot of people are talking about. It's one of the biggest, um, it's one of the biggest,
Stories.
yeah,
Mhm.
that nobody's really talking about. Who's going to get that group of five spot?
This is one that's just going to be a fluid situation throughout the season. We're going to have to see how it plays out.
Yeah. To get to number 4, Missouri, you guys are not one of them. You're not like that. You beat you beat Vanderbilt.
Yes.
Let's just put it that way. Everybody knows Vanderbilt is the team that if you're an SEC team, you put them on that schedule and you beat them up every week.
Yeah.
That's who they're like the pinball. They just
Yes.
get bounced around, they get tossed around like
They're the freshman squad.
yeah, it's like you see Vanderbilt on your schedule and you think bye week and you guys and Vanderbilt took you to double overtime.
So you can't even say that they beat Vanderbilt. They survived Vanderbilt.
Because if you look at it, if it wasn't for what was that? That
missed field goal at the end.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, Vanderbilt very well could have beat you guys. This was embarrassing. And I don't want to put too much I don't want to beat up on Vanderbilt too much because they have looked like a better team than the Vanderbilts of the past. But nonetheless, bro, it's Vanderbilt.
It's Vanderbilt.
You were at the time you were the number 6 or number 7 ranked team in the country, and you almost lost to Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You're not one of them. Last week I talked about all the powers of the SEC, and I'm immediately eliminating your guys.
Yes, you are not one of them.
I don't think you're going to beat Bama. I don't think you're going to survive Texas A&M. Missouri, you might as well pack it up now.
Yeah.
Our number 3 point, did we see Ohio State's defense get exposed? They gave up 200 plus yards to Marshall, gave up 2 touchdowns, and the biggest piece is Marshall might have, they might have shown these other teams the formula to beating Ohio State, which is a running quarterback. When that quarterback escaped and used his legs, Ohio State had no answers.
Yes.
And he was actually pretty decent with his arm as well. So, on slant routes, I'll put it that way. They were beating them with a lot of slants. So we'll have to see. My biggest thing is Ohio State needs to figure out the situation at linebacker. Sonny Styles didn't look as good as we thought he would so far this season. You've got a guy sitting behind him, Arvell Reese, who, in my opinion, might be the best linebacker on that team. He's looked pretty good through the first few weeks, but he's not getting the minutes that these other guys are. But yeah, Ohio State's defense, they might have just got their formula leaked.
Well, and I look at it too as I don't know if he didn't want to show much in that game. He figured, hey, we can win this game without doing too many adjustments. But I didn't see Jim Knowles make the proper adjustments to take away what Marshall was trying to do.
Yeah.
They showed nothing else other than running the quarterback and running slant routes. And yet and still, you kept your DBs laying off instead of coming up in tight press coverage. I couldn't understand why he would not make that adjustment
Yeah.
and, just continue to let the same thing happen again and again. The only thing that I could come up with is he just didn't want to show what else was in his bag.
Yeah. My teacher actually asked me earlier this week, since Ohio State can't stop the running quarterback and running in general, how is that going to play against Michigan? And I just had to shut him down because Michigan cannot throw the ball.
Right.
You need to have that good mix of
Yes.
being able to throw and run,
Mhm.
and Michigan hasn't proven that they can throw the ball at all.
So I guess that takes us into our number 2.
Yes, which is Michigan beats USC. The upset of the week. I know we didn't get to really show that video, but USC, that was your lock.
Yes, it
That
was.
was your lock game. You said USC was a lock to beat Michigan, and they went there and laid an egg. Really embarrassing from USC. I mean, I don't see how you can lose to a team that only had 32 passing yards.
Yeah.
They ran the ball down your throat, and then
290 plus.
Yeah, when it came down to it, Miller Moss made a few bad plays. That pick six,
That
unacceptable.
was the difference.
Yeah, that was the touchdown that really
sealed. Well, it didn't seal the deal.
Yeah,
but it made all the difference.
Exactly. But USC, that oh my goodness, that was really embarrassing.
What sealed the deal in that game? Plain and simple. We were high on USC's defense making this incredible turnaround.
Yeah.
They go to Michigan and they look like the USC teams of the past. Once again, they cannot tackle.
Yeah.
All you had to do was tackle. You give a team a minute, just over a minute, to drive the field, and all they can do is run the ball. They ran the ball all the way down the field and scored on you all with just over a minute. That just doesn't happen.
I wouldn't put it to that extent to where they looked like the USC defenses of the past, because those past few years, USC has been like just awful on defense. But you're talking about from a tackling aspect.
From a tackling aspect,
I can see that because they did. When it came down to it, Michigan wouldn't have scored if they would have just secured that tackle. Instead, Michigan's backup running back, I think last name Mullins.
Yeah, goes for over 30.
Yeah, all the way down into enemy territory, and
yeah,
that ended up leading to the game, not game winning, but the game sealing touchdown pretty much.
Yeah,
for Michigan. So
yeah,
Michigan's still alive in the Big Ten. I still think they'll finish with at least 3 losses. I don't see them beating Oregon or Ohio State, but hey, if they did it to USC, you never know. To get to our number 1 takeaway, finally, you have to accept it. You might not respect it, but you have to accept it. Tennessee is legit. Tennessee went into Norman, Oklahoma, and walked out with a big win. Their defense looks really good. I would have liked to see them put up a little bit or a few more points, but nonetheless, Nico looks good. That offense, they can throw the ball well, and that defense looks legit. Tennessee, they only have 2 games they have to worry about, Georgia and Alabama. But other than that, if you run the schedule and if you can even sneak out one of those wins, you might be a lock for the playoffs. So Tennessee, I'm glad I got this one right. They're legit.
Nicholas Yamaleava. I had to practice your name because I owed you that much respect. I doubted this kid from the start. Well, even to the back in the preseason or in the offseason, I doubted what he was going to bring to the table, and he showed he's a baller.
Yeah,
he is a baller, and with him at the helm, he makes Tennessee that kind of ball club. Where you're right, the Georgias of the world, the Alabamas of the world, whoever else they have to see, you're on notice because this team can play with just about anybody. So I was impressed with Tennessee. Doing what they did against Oklahoma. You called it. You said that it was going to happen.
I was trying to tell you.
Yeah.
You might have to drop and give me 20 for that one.
Yeah, I thought
I'm trying to tell you the entire preseason.
Yeah, I thought the game was going to come down to, at best, last person has the ball, that's going to end up winning. No, Tennessee, you pulled away with it. And, hey, impressive win. What can you say?
Yeah. So that's our top takeaways from week 4. It was a good week of college football. This next week, though, week 5 has some monster games.
Yes.
Georgia, Alabama. We're going to get into our predictions next. So that video will be coming shortly after this one. Make sure you guys stay tuned, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.